Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track from an act named Big Sexy titled Mighty Maxine. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves a track on the screen on Spotify, and I think this is a single by itself. I reviewed a lot of Big Sexy's tracks, including a lot of songs off of The River of Shame and other ones. We're going to listen through this track from start to finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, what do we got? Got the honky tonkish kind of bluesy aesthetic there with everything. On the left.
I saw her in the parking lot from across the street. She squeezed by my Chevrolet. She was strutting to the beat and all the traffic stopped for miles away. Oh, Maxine, Maxine, the girl of my dreams, prancing the power of a chessboard queen. Curves of her body are simply obscene. Oh, mighty, 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 mighty Maxine.
So there's an innate catchiness to it. We've got everything we need within the first minute. It'll just be good to see how we kind of explore things from here on out.
Mighty, mighty Maxine. Oh, when I walked up to the bar, I tried to catch her eye. She acted like she didn't see me, or she played real shy. And then they introduced me as a singer for the night. She spun around as I fired up the mic. Yeah, Maxine, Maxine, the girl of my dreams, prancing with power of a chessboard queen. The curves of her body are simply obscene. Oh, mighty, 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 mighty Maxine.
Yeah.
Mighty, mighty Maxine.
Here we are, reiterating the hook line with the guitar solo. Nice development.
Maxine's neck is long and luscious. Her eyes are deep sea blue. When that set finished, I'll never forget. She knew there was gonna be a rendezvous. Now she's my girl every second of the day. She says that I saved her from her humdrum ways, but her mama tells her what she's doing isn't right, 'cause all she wants to do is dance all night. Maxine, Maxine, the girl of my dreams, prancing with power of a chessboard queen. She's been wearing
And there's so many layers to it.
She's a sex machine. Oh, mighty, 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 mighty Maxine. Mighty, mighty Maxine. Oh, mighty, mighty Maxine. Oh, mighty, mighty Maxine. My queen.
I mean, that was satisfying. Okay, and we just got that nice fade out at the end. We're going to talk about this track more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named Big Sexy titled Mighty Maxine. Now, what do I think this track was about? I think it was about someone who found a woman named Maxine who was, they saw each other in the car in the parking lot, and then they met at the bar, and then they found out that Big Sexy, or Gary, Gary, they were singing that night, and Maxine was actually rather interested in them after that, and there's going to be a rendezvous. And then now the woman is with the vocalist, and the mama doesn't approve because Maxine basically just kind of wants to dance all night and just have fun. And there's like a lot of like description of like how they look and everything like that, and there's like that kind of attraction to them and everything like that. I think that's great. I think it's cool. So that's what the track is about. The story came through clearly, and the actual vocals behind it were really palatable. I think it was done the way which was classy and easy and accessible, and it had a great sort of sense of harmony with the progressions, the guitar, organ, bass, and drum parts around it. We had good vocal technique. We were solid on a hidden choice voice here, but it kind of glow to the vocals, a shimmer and a sheen through both the mic that we chose in the post-production, as well as simply the actual texture to the way we expressed ourselves. And we used chromatics really well. We didn't just stick with the major and minors within those scales and modes present. We also had some chromatics and bluesy elements there that kind of added a bit of kind of raunchiness to it. So all in all, I feel like it was a really satisfying vocal performance to listen through that made sense in regards to the way what we were talking about without overdoing it. The track at 3 minutes 06 was well fleshed out there. You got everything you needed within that time frame. It was a mixture of the kind of honky top piano keys as well as some chords on the right and sort of left hand. I think when we got into those chorus sections, we needed a more sort of reserved whole tone effort there. The organs that we had with some glissandos, occasionally a bit of vibrato in those tones that were resonating in the mids and highs, reinforced what was going on in a lot of the other harmonies from the keys, as well as the guitar parts, which typically rolled around like a sort of a 12-bar blues, just kind of phrase in there, but we tried to put it into, 4 or 8 bars per time to make it more of a contemporary feel to it. So it was more sort of like modern, kind of like rock and roll kind of blues than the old school stuff. There was a major feel over it. It was never kind of down and up so dire because it wasn't that kind of track. So, but they also, I think the chromatics that we had across the board, not just in the vocals, but also again with some of the guitarists there, also with the solo section on the guitar, there was just a great bit of development going into that later stage there after that second chorus. It was cool just to have that sort of ability to have an alternative voice that did have a great presence within the mid to upper range there, harmonized neatly with all the other parts, including the vocalist continuing to hook the hook line of Mighty Maxine. And we never stayed on one idea for too long. There were plenty of drum fills there that transitioned, but there was also a great 8th note groove there across the cymbals and kicks and snares that kept us moving forward. There were some some occasional builds there going into transitions with 16th note sort of patterns, but like all in all, the drums also kind of pocketed. They weren't the main focal point, but there was enough variety there for the percussion to be as interesting as a lot of the guitar parts there, working between chromatics or power chord elements. There are some open chords in the more sort of reserve sections. The bass part, low notes and the root notes kind of resonating neatly within the frequency spectrum, niched underneath everything else. A great sense of pace with the drums, but also, how do I describe it? It's a sense of like harmonic sort of unity across all the different instruments. They understood to have only some parts sometimes and other parts others. We had dynamic range through the instrumental layers. It was quite a tight mix glued wise. And like there were some interesting chords used. We didn't just have major and minors. There were some parallel major and minors there that are enhanced not just with the different instrumental layers performing certain notes of those triads, but also the arpeggios and some of the chorusy guitars or the lead guitars on the other side, etc. We just had different affectations of these string bits there that were resonant and easy to sort of hear, and maybe in cooler responses to some of the vocal lines, but just there was never a dull moment within this. So the theme overall did kind of have a bit of a kind of swanky feel to it because of the style of the chord choice of it. It was kind of bluesy, but it didn't hover in that minor key too much. It was more sort of this kind of sounded cool. This wasn't a sad song or anything like that. It's not meant to sort of like seemingly going through massive tribulation. So the choice in that regard of like the key signature and everything makes sense. I think they managed to find a nice balance between those happier elements and not making it too sort of over the top. And I feel like there was just a tight instrumental performance in general without a note out of place. It's a very full sounding track most of the time, which is part of why I appreciate the studio recording. Mixing and mastering was well handled here. I feel like there was 1,000 ways you could have done this in a way which would have been detrimental to the listening experience, but like whether it was the organs, the keys, the guitars, the bass, the drums, etc., they all had presence within the free spectrum and the stereo field because of the niching and stuff without any resonant frequencies, different guitar parts were penned in different sides, then you could easily ascertain which was which, and the layering of the different sounds was welcome. There was dynamic range in part because of the instrumental layers. There wasn't massive shifts there, but it was enough to keep things well glued, and it was still nice and loud without pumping to the bus compression. Limiting was handled. And effectively, this is my review of this track from an act named Big Sexy, titled Mighty Maxine. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via their various social medias and the Spotify page, and stay cool and stay safe. And please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.